So I believe that it's more likely than not that aliens exist in the universe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's massive, like it's got to in some fashion. And I don't believe for a second that they walk among us, that they're here, and that the people see alien craft. And no, I don't buy that at all. And because even the most convincing story about a UFO, okay, sure, it could be an alien. It could be an extra dimensional traveler. It could be a time traveler. It could be a ghost. It could be a demon. It could be a fairy. It could be a robot from the future. Who knows? And so, like, just saying that it's an alien is like, okay, that's just a guess. That's not better than any other. It could be Batman. Who the fuck knows? Like, you're just making shit up. And so, I mean, really, like, I don't understand why people got this is definitely aliens, man. It's like, no, you don't fucking know what it is. Honestly, all it is something that you can't explain, but you're desperate to have an answer for it, so you'll latch on to anyone you can. It's I don't know. It just seems like lazy thinking to me. I don't get it, and I see it all the time.
One of my favorite conspiracy theories that I truly do choose to believe deep down.
Oh, what's it?
Is that there are aliens, but like they aren't aliens. They're earthbound and they live deep under the sea. And the atmospheric pressure difference makes it so we've never come into contact. But like, if you look at like octopus, they have like human level social brain capacity, and like can survive theoretically infinitely deep. We're not, very, very deep. And it's like, it seems like there's a decent, like, I feel like if we're ever to encounter another form of sentient life, it is more likely to come from deep down in the ocean than
interesting. I like this.
And that's the one I believe in. I choose to believe in.
I like it.
Not much evidence to support that, but just it seems like just the speed of light being the universal speed limit. We're never going to see one of those infinite alien species unless someone changes that whole speed of light to get past it. But the atmospheric pressure thing, I feel like we can figure out eventually.
That one we can.
There could be a separate species living down there and existing down there that we cannot fathom and cannot have ever made contact with.
That's interesting. The Aquaman hypothesis. I like this. I like this. Octopus are pretty interesting because
I fucking love octopus.
They're incredibly smart creatures. Like and they have 9 brains, which is insane. Like each of their arms has its own fucking brain, which is something insane to think
about.
Their
own brain is massive. Like most of them is brain.
It's incredible. Like they're like They're really good at problem solving, and I mean, where wouldn't you be with a brain that large?
Yeah.
But like octopus, that's why I talk about people who say. Also, I think it's bullshit.
They communicate through touch. Like that's how sensitive their skin. They don't need to see something to replicate its texture and color perfectly. They just have to touch it, and no one knows how they do it.
Yeah, their replication skills are underrated. Chameleons talk a big game, man, but watch an octopus like completely copy, like not even the texture. They can't do that. They can mimic the look of the texture. Like it's incredible, like the stuff that they can do. And I always think it's bullshit when people say they see aliens and they just happen to look like us. They happen to have a head, 2 arms. So like, get the fuck out of here. There's no way that's the case. And it's like octopus are a great example of how you can have a very intelligent species or dolphins are a good example of this too, that are nothing like us at all. And the odds that an alien would like for some reason look like an ape, insanity. Like they have all the shapes it could take. And the thing about
octopus look like what you think aliens look
like.
Right. I would just like survey, like people didn't know what octopuses were. And just like, hey, draw an alien for me. Octopuses are very close to what they
the short people with green skin and big head. No, come on. I'm sorry. Like, sure, they could look like that, but the chances that they just amazingly look just like us, it seems like you kind of made this up. But the thing about octopus that is great to me is that they're really smart, and I put them in the running to be like a successor of ours.
Yes,
if anything 100%.
Like that. In fact, I would say they're my most likely.
So I don't know. I put it in like a category. I don't know about my number ones. So I like octopus, elephants, chimps, and dolphins, or like in my A group or whatever. They're all incredibly smart, and they have like the elephant trunks. They can hold pencils with those things. It's pretty crazy.
Elephants are awesome too. Whales, elephants, and octopuses are way smarter than anyone thinks they are.
And the weird thing about octopus is that the octopus at a disadvantage because they don't live very long. Like octopus only live like 3 years, which is kind of bullshit. Like I don't know, that's kind of fucked up.
But if an octopus, because the advantage octopus have over the other, so I feel like anything that would kill humans would also kill elephants. Like they're not survivable enough.
Oh,
and,
I see.
And it would probably also kill monkeys. Like I just can't think of a thing unless
so
it's like
sea creatures have an advantage here.
If it's a specific disease that only kills humans, that's the only thing that wouldn't also kill elephant monkeys. But
interesting.
They exist all down there. We haven't found all of them yet. Like they can survive a nuclear holocaust because they're just in the ocean, and they, unlike dolphins, can walk on land. And so I feel like if there's some catastrophic event, octopus is my number one.
I like it. That's a good point. Did you know the reason most ghost stories come from Victorian era is that because that was when gas lines were made and there were gas leaks causing I mean, I believe that, but ghost stories existed way before that, though. I've always had ghost stories, right?
Yeah, ghost stories have, but I feel like the documented like ghost stories, I can believe there was an uptick in ghost stories.
I can see that. And like
the fun thing about the Victorian gas lines, and then we'll have to cover our topics because we're well past an hour. I love Wednesdays, so we just shoot.
I do too. Wednesdays are so fun. They are fun. I love it.
But the Victorian gas lines, they actually like caused people to kill themselves, especially women, at very high rates. Because all they had to do was stick their head in the oven, and the gas would just kill them. And when they literally like stopped that like specific type of gas in the gas lines, and it decreased the amount of women committing suicide by something.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's one of those like when people talk about like gun violence, like you can't count suicides. They're just gonna find a way to kill themselves anyway. No, the fuck they will not.
It's hard.
Suicide is like, a very. It's not just like like if you look at like suicide survivors, they don't actually often kill themselves. Like they kind of learn their lesson and don't do that again because it's a very specific moment. And even just like seeing an available option that's quick and easy like a gun in that moment will cause you to kill yourself. If that gun isn't there, I'm not gonna fucking like cut my throat. That's a lot. That's messy. That's a lot of work. I don't want to do it. And that's also why men kill themselves with guns more because, and this has been studied, women don't want to create a mess.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That is crazy because like men kill themselves like 1,000 times more often with. And my thought, I was like, yeah, of course that's how I do it. It's the quickest and least painful way. But then it's like that's not being considerate. Your friends and family are gonna have to see your head. That's why the
women like the gas because
I know, consider it even until the end. But it is crazy how like a minor obstacle will stop people from doing something like suicide. Like just a minor thing will stop them. It's kind of that shit is kind of wild. I don't know. Anyway, So one more. I was mentioning you said that changing those gas or those gas lines, whatever, decrease suicides. It's kind of like when they
narrator. Wait, put that up from narrator. Did you also read Humankind, or was it Humankind? No, it wasn't Humankind. It was a Malcolm Gladwell book. Because I think it was a Malcolm Gladwell book, but that's where I got that from. And it also mentioned the Golden Gate Bridge, where people fell off. I'll remember. And then they put up like suicide nets, and like they were so adamantly against putting up the suicide nets. And like study after study was like, no, you put up the suicide nets; it'll stop people from killing themselves. They put up the suicide nets, and no one who jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge attempted to kill themselves again when they were caught by the nets.
Yeah. I saw that in a documentary called The Bridge, a rather unimaginably named documentary, but it was about the Golden Gate Bridge. And there were like 23 suicides a year off the Golden Gate Bridge before this net went up. And they said the exact same thing. There was a guy who jumped off the bridge and lived, and he hit the water and his legs broke, and he was rescued by a dolphin. It's crazy. Like a dolphin just showed up. And
I'm believing in God. I'm believing in God.
Right? Yeah.
I don't care what. I don't care what anyone says to me. That guy, he can believe in God, and I will not judge him.
Listen, if I were him, that would be the day I gave up on human God and started worshiping dolphin God. That's what would happen if that was the day.
I'm hooking up with Hiroshima and Nagasaki guy, and we're starting a cult.
They're gonna start an Avengers team of unkillable human beings, but when they asked him, hey, you were so like depressed and down that you did like, what were your thoughts when you jumped off? He said, the entire way down, I said, I wish I hadn't done it. Like, that's exactly what he said. And of course, I mean, that's your adrenaline kicking in. Your your body is built to live, not to
Yeah.
die. And so your brain's just firing on all cylinders like, oh man, you got to survive.
One of
But
the
when
worst
you
ways
mention,
to kill yourself jumping, I can't like you're stuck. You're just stuck. There's nothing you can do. And
it's not the one I would choose, but there's worse ones. There's worse ones.
There's got to be worse. I mean, if I got creative, I could think of plenty of worse.
Fuck no, man. Like that's just your body screaming in agony for oxygen for 5 minutes. Fuck out of here, man. Not happening. But I had a kid I knew in college who killed himself that way, and I remember thinking that is not the way I would ever go about it. But
it's actually shocking how common it is. Like,
right? It seems horrible.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is that when you talked about the gas leak and fixing that in the ovens, it reminds me of when they started making companies put like this bitter agent in the antifreeze, and then like the rates of women poisoning their husbands started plummeting across the country because they were putting antifreeze in his coffee or shit. That's what that reminded me of. So yeah, like small little changes like that, you can actually save a lot of lives. But yeah, we did run long today, but yeah. Oh, so earlier in the show, we had like no viewers for the first like 15 minutes. Was longer than usual, and then we got up to like 6 and then to 4. So this is pretty average. I like the starting later thing. I like this. This works a lot.
It just gives us time to get.
I
feel like we had a better conversation because I wasn't still just thinking about work for the first.
I know.
Minutes,
I agree. All right, topics. All right, I don't have a lot here. I only have one thing that I actually want to talk about that I think could be a good one. Did you see that that video with the Chiefs kicker? Talking at that college?
I didn't. I heard of it. I have not watched it.
Oh,
so
perfect.
I'm told. I think that's a great topic. Yeah,
that's gonna be a good one.
And
that's all I got.
Our guest tomorrow is a trans lawyer who takes pro bono work for like she's doing pro bono work for the I don't know if it's Columbia, but the campus protesters have been arrested. Like,
cool.
That's like what she fucking does. So I imagine that the gender analysis will probably be right up her alley. But yeah, that's perfect. And then anything else from that?
That's all I thought was interesting. Everything else was stuff we talked about. I couldn't find anything new that I thought was interesting. I don't know if you did.
So there was. I want to talk about Biden's EV tariff on China. Did you read about that?
No, I haven't heard about that.
So he's announced that he's going to be levying 100% tariff on Chinese cars, an EV specifically, which is really fucking dumb for so many reasons.
What?
Yeah. So that'll be.
I gotta read about this. Hey, what the rationale is? That sounds weird.
Plenty to discuss there.
Huh.
Then there was. I wouldn't mind doing a conversation about him just being in denial about the polls. That has been a thing that we haven't talked about too much, but like has plenty of things to jump off on.
He also, did you see he and Trump agreed to do 2 debates? Did you see that?
And that was the third thing.
Oh, okay, all right.
That was the one. So we'll do. I'm just going to put this together. So we got the Biden's poll denial. We have the Harrison Butker, and we have the EV tariff. And the debates. And
wait, narrator, do you mean export or import? Because the tariff is on our side, right? I mean, it can't be on China's side. We can't. Did you hear about Republicans blocking cancer research to own the lips? I heard about that. That's true. Can't let them get a win. Even where did I hear about that? I remember reading that they block cancer research. I'll look that up. That might be something.
Yeah, We'll narrow it down a little bit offline here. But Rachel, thank you for coming. Unfortunately, this is our shorter show. And we're already 16 minutes over. So Rachel, definitely be here tomorrow. It'll be 7:00 tomorrow. Usually it's 6:00 on Thursdays. Tomorrow we are accommodating our guests. So it'll be 7 to 9 tomorrow. And typically on Wednesdays, we'll be here from 6:30 to 7:30. For anyone to just come and shoot the shit with us for this. We gotta name this, TJ. We got to find a name for our Wednesday show.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we'll come up with it. We'll get the brain trust together.
Let us know if anyone's watching this and they watched this all the way through. Give us a name. Drop it in the comments on this video. Let us know what we should call this segment, and maybe we'll give you credit if you come up with a good one. Thank you very much, guys. This has been The Left Wing.
All right, later.
Cool.
That was